You want to see me, yummy all your time. Level up, 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 level up. Oh, this song is so yummy, oh, this sauce so yummy. You want to see me, yummy all your time. They frisky drop like wait, team love don't want no hate. I'm grinding, I'm shining, I'm on my way. They gotta never settle. This cute is so much better. I'm chilling, I'm winning, like on another level. You can talk all you want. See me as some afraid, nothing I'm afraid of, and I can have it all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let go. Level up, 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 level up.
Good to see Kate from Portland. Christy from Portland.
Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
Hi, Lynette from Portland. Evening, Nina from Sacramento. Look at Candy coming from Los Angeles. Yes, Lori, Sierra's leveling up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Got Melissa from Minnesota. Tiffany from Ohio.
Level up, 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 level up. Oh, this song is so yummy.
Thank you all for joining us today. Hello, hello. We are so excited to have you all here today. My name is Carissa. I am the program manager at Financial Beginnings, Nebraska, and this is the Financial Beginnings Financial Literacy Conference. I have dropped a link in the chat for the session workbook. We encourage you to go ahead and download that for those of you who were able to register in advance. We've also emailed that out to you earlier, so we hope you were able to grab that. So throughout this entire month of April, see, someone can't see the link, I'll redraft that. Throughout the month of April, we will be bringing you an abundance of folks who are talking to you about the importance of financial literacy and financial education topics. Before I introduce our amazing speakers for today, I just want to take a minute to share about who we are and thank our sponsors who made this series possible. So Financial Beginnings, Oregon, Washington, California, and Nebraska exists to provide free, unbiased financial education across our states and beyond. Our programs are designed for everyone of all ages, and each lesson is facilitated by a trained volunteer. We encourage you to visit our website, financialbeginnings.org, to learn how you can bring these programs to your community and maybe volunteer with us if you'd like to. Now, I'd just like to take a quick moment to thank our incredible sponsors for making this series possible. We want to send a huge thank you to Bank of America, our presenting sponsor of this year's series. Thank you so much for our belief in financial education. Bank of America, you are amazing. Another huge thank you to On Point Community Credit Union, our impact sponsor this year, and to all the sponsors who have supported us throughout this series. We really can't thank you enough. This really wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors, so we want to give them this spotlight on tonight. All of our sponsors are Bank of America, On Point Community Credit Union, BECU, the Division of Financial Regulation, Department of Consumer and Business Services, PNC Bank, FP Transitions, the Northwest Credit Union Foundation, State Farm, US Bank, Citizens Bank, and FNBO, or First National Bank of Omaha. For all of you here today, we also want to encourage you from Financial Beginnings to please go ahead and register for other sessions that we have coming up this month. These are the two next ones, both happening this week, Thursday and Friday. We'd love to have you register for these sessions and others. And remember, for those of you who are in Oregon or Southwest Washington, if you register for these sessions, you can be entered in for a $1,000 college savings plan. So definitely sign up. That's a great opportunity. We'll put a registration link in the chat for this, and we hope to see you at more sessions today. Now for the most exciting part, I would love to introduce today's session. Today, our topic is the 5 C's of business success, and we have 5 amazing speakers from Black Women Empowering Finances. First up, I would like to introduce Ms. Dee Bowden. So as featured in Forbes magazine, Dee created Collect the Cash to teach small businesses how to solve cash flow problems. After recovering $7.5 million for a large government agency, Dee recognized that small businesses also fall prey to revenue loss because they don't collect the outstanding invoices. She is on a mission to serve business owners by sharing her 3-step system. Dee has 10 years of financial recovery experience, and she's also one of the top 50 most influential women in 2021 in VIP Global Magazine. And she's the author of Collect the Cash. The sale is not complete until the money is in the bank. If you head over to the chat, we will drop a link on how you can stay connected to Ms. Dee. Next, we have Ms. Joyce Chelsea Hayward. Joyce is the founder of Fusion for Business LLC Incorporated in both the US and Bermuda. Fusion offers external CFO, finance, business, strategic planning, accounting, and advisory services, and specializes in profit maximization. With over 30 years of experience, Joyce assists businesses, churches, and nonprofits in a holistic manner. She's a public speaker, a coach and consultant, a graduate of Georgetown University, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a chartered professional accountant, a certified public accountant, a certified internal auditor, and a chartered bank auditor. Wow, Joyce. Joyce has launched a Profit for Freedom program to help businesses move towards financial health and wealth. Joyce is also an ordained minister in the AME Church with a doctorate in divinity. Reverend Dr. J teaches workshops, preaches, and assists churches with their financial health. You head back over to the chat. We are going to drop another link if you'd like to stay in touch with Ms. Joyce. Next up, we have Ms. Janisha Richardson, Janisha is a native of Clovis, California, and she holds a bachelor's degree in business administration and accounting from California State University, Fresno, where she competed as a collegiate track athlete. In 2003, Janisha co-founded Richardson and Moore, LLC, an accounting and tax service company in Washington, D.C. From working closely with small businesses, Janisha saw a need to educate business owners on the importance of establishing business credit. So in 2019, she founded Positive Business Credit Solutions, LLC. Janisha is passionate about networking and educating underserved communities on the importance of financial literacy. You probably guessed it, but you can head over to the chat if you'd like more information on how to stay connected to Ms. Janisha. Next, we have Ms. Tasha Singleton. Tasha is an entrepreneur, training insurance and financial professionals. She is the founder of TJS Financial Solutions, LLC. With over a decade in business experience, she has trained business owners and employees at Fortune 500 companies and the Global 100 company. Tasha has facilitated hundreds of workshops and training classes in the areas of personal growth, business development growth, insurance, and financial services. Tasha hosts the podcast, The Secrets of Earning Money Show, which was inspired by her book, The Secrets of Earning Money Without a Job, how you can get $300 to $1,500 in 30 days. Tasha is dedicated to helping women take control of their personal economy and life. Head over to the chat for more information about Ms. Tasha. And last, but certainly not least, we have Ms. Rashida Roberts. Ms. Rashida Roberts is a personal financial coach and strategist. She has been serving her virtual community with financial literacy since 2019. She's passionate about helping single men and women and educators crush debt and master their money mindset by setting boundaries. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Houston and a Master of Science degree from Full Sail University. Rashida is a certified educator, author, and speaker. She believes people need to find their inner voice to say no, believe in themselves, and have it manifest in their financial lifestyles. It's all about crushing debt and becoming financially confident with Ms. Rashida. Head on over to the chat again to have more information about Ms. Rashida. And with that, with those amazing speakers, aren't you all super impressed with them? I know I was. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to them for tonight's presentation. Joyce, go ahead and take us away.
Good evening again, everyone. And thank you so much, Carissa. That was awesome. And wow, that was really awesome. Thank you. And we would like to find out where you all are in your business life. Well, this is a program tonight where we're talking about business finances. There's some things for personal as well, but we would like to find out. We have a poll. We have a question. We'd like to ask you, what are you in business, or what business are you in? We thank you again for those. We see you all coming from all over, from Portland, from Minnesota, from Ohio, from all over. We thank you all for being here with us. But we have a poll question for you. Let us know. Are you looking to start a business? Are you starting a business? Let us know, because we just like to have an idea of who we have here with us this evening. So we'll just give it a couple more minutes, and we would like for you to go ahead and answer that question, and we will shut it down shortly, but we want to make sure we have an idea of who's in the room, who is in the room, and make sure you share this. I think it may be on Facebook, but we will definitely make sure that it's live. We know it's live somewhere, so make sure you share it, let others know, make sure they have the link. So we want to make sure that we know where it is you're from. So thank you from, as well as know whether you're in business or not. So we've got 24 persons that have answered. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tasha. Thank you all for being here with us this evening. And we are excited, and we will turn it over to Tasha so she can get us started this evening.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. We love helping people, women. We're looking at helping Black women, as well as traditionally underserved communities with their business and finances so that they can live the life they've always dreamed of. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to let Dee Bowden come up with her special of the 5 C's, which is communication. Many of us don't realize, but there are 5 C's to making us successful in business. We've got communication, which is up now, and then we'll be going to consistency, and then we'll be going to credit, we'll be going to cash flow, and then we'll be going to coverage. So let me introduce Dee Bowden to you. She is your revenue recovery expert, the founder of BCS Solution, and she has collected over $13 million. She is the author of Collect the Cash. The sale is not complete until the money is in the bank, and the creator of the Collect the Cash snowball collection method. Welcome, Dee.
Thank you so much, Tasha, and good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you to Carissa. Thank you to Financial Beginnings Oregon, and it's a pleasure to be here. So I'm the first C in the 5 C's of business. So I'm on my word is communication. Okay, deep breath. That's step 1. That's step 1. Breathe. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all a quick story. And then I'm going to explain communication. I'll do it like this. So when you hear what had happened was, What do you think? Oh goodness, something went wrong. Exactly. But what that question does, it actually communicates. I'm going to read you this definition. Communication is this: it's sending or receiving information in a story or in a question. So in the 5 C's of the 5 C's of business, my lane is communication. I answered the question by collecting the cash through this. What had happened was, please tell me, for those of you who are in the chat, have you ever had somebody ghost you and not explain to you why? Have you ever had somebody not pay you for your service and you're like, excuse me, didn't we have an agreement? And then you're like, have you ever sold a product or a service and you're like, I did the work, expect to get paid. And then you communicated with them. Because here's the thing, communication in this day and age is text, email, video, and then as I like to say, you can't solve everything in 144 characters. I know y'all want to, but you can't. I promise y'all. Sometimes you actually have to get on the phone and actually have a conversation, and you have to be able to problem solve. Part of communication is problem solving, because when something goes left in your payments, especially in business, the way to communicate it is to get on the phone, also send an email, have a Zoom meeting, get on Microsoft Teams, use all the communication tools, but most importantly is to answer the question of what had happened was, and how do we get this to resolution. So as you're listening to me, I know you might be wondering, okay, I'm not real comfortable with doing this. Okay, I get it. Sorry, y'all. Can y'all still hear me? Okay. I'm not real comfortable with doing this, but here's the thing. When you decide to go into business, you go into business because you're communicating that you can solve a problem. You're either solving a problem in a product or a service or both. And you definitely have to get really good at answering the what had happened was when they don't pay you. So I'm one of the first C's in the 5 C's too of business success, which is communication, which is answering the question of what had happened was. And here's the takeaway. Let's go from what had happened was to how do we win. Thanks.
All right. Well, that was good. Thank you so much, Dee. The what had happened was, and you're in business to solve a problem. All of us need to go ahead and remember that. All right. Thank you so much for that, Dee. And next up, we have Joyce Chesley Hayward. She is a profitability expert, the founder of Fusion for Business with over 30 years of experience helping to solve small business and medium business owners' problems. Now, she does it in a holistic manner. Joyce is also the author of Profit Freedom, How to Avoid the Mistakes That Cause 60% of Business Owners to Have No Freedom and No Time. What sense does it make to start a business if you're not going to have money and freedom? Okay, so let's hear it from your virtual CFO, Joyce Chesley Hayward.
All right. Thank you so much, Tasha. Great, Dee. Thank you for communication. All right. My C is consistency. So I want you to put in the chat, how many of you have seen the movie King Richard? If you have, put a 1 in the chat. Or what about the movie Karate Kid? If you've seen any of the Karate Kid movies, put a 2 in the chat. Thank you. If you've seen any of the Rocky movies, put a 3 in the chat. Awesome. Some people may have 1s, 2s, and 3s. Well, what do you think those movies have in common? Thank you for the responses in the chat. Everybody's awake. That's a great thing. Well, it's someone doing something consistently, and they were successful because of it. Because consistency is said to be the key to success. From being in business and working with businesses for over like 30 or so years, I've seen a lot of businesses, some doing well and some not quite so much. And I would say the thing that sets them apart quite often is consistency. And I tell all business owners, as was mentioned, if you're a small business, you need to act like a big business because big businesses are successful. If they made it, a lot of times they've gotten big because they're successful. I want you to think about your favorite store or brand or restaurant. Can you put that in the chat? Thanks. Yes, set yourself apart by being consistent. Put in the chat your favorite store or brand or restaurant. And think about Amazon. Yes, thank you. One of the things that you probably like about them is that the food is consistently good, the clothes are consistently well made, the car may run consistently well. Yes, I thank you because those businesses are successful because you go to those. I see Sephora, Target, Nordstrom. You go there because you know you're going to get something done and it's going to be consistent. Why would you buy something from a company if it's going to be different every time you get it? So how can we be consistent? So 3 things, and I'm using the C's for consistency. Clear, be clear, have a clear vision or goal. And I believe in foundational inspiration. For me, that's scriptures. Without a vision, the people perish. So you have to have a vision. When you think about those movies we talked about earlier, they had a goal. When you think about sports movies, think about the Olympics. They have an end in mind. They have a vision. We know that those persons, we hear their backstories, they get up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, every single morning, every day to hone their craft. They're consistent because they want to get to the goal. They have a big why. And that's what I ask all of you, to be clear with what your big why is. You know, Les Brown is one of the favorite speakers I like, and he says, you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry for what you want. Just like we're hungry physically, we have to be hungry for the things we want. So have a clear vision or goal, know your why. The second C is be committed. Commit to being consistent. Aristotle says, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So know your why, be clear, and be committed to doing it. The third C is chart your course. Have a plan. Benjamin Franklin says, those who fail to plan to fail. I'm sure you've heard that. And I know you all are writing things down. You have a workbook. They say note takers are money makers. So you're writing notes. You are planning to keep track of what you're learning tonight. And have a business plan. Some of you are starting a business, have started a business. There's lots of templates on the internet. Set a plan and make sure your plan has what we call SMART objectives. SMART for S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time framed. SMART. There's a quote that says, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. Have a plan and stick to that plan. Be consistent. If we want to be profitable in our businesses, we want to be successful in our businesses, be clear, be committed, and make sure that you chart your course. Now, those are things to get started. And just a few things for those who may already be in business. I will say you need to be successful, consistently make sure that every dollar you earn has a percentage of profit in it. Make sure every dollar is profitable. 2, assign something for every dollar to do. Have a plan for every dollar, whether that's paying salary, buying inventory, expansion, or 3, saving. Set up to save consistently. Make sure you put money aside in your business emergency fund, just like you do in a personal emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your expenses. And for those who may know, some businesses are no longer around from the pandemic. To be pandemic proof, plan to have 12 months of expenses saved. 4, reconcile and check your bank accounts regularly. Don't let money slip through the cracks. Make sure you're not paying for software, memberships, things you're not using, or other monthly or annual fees that you no longer use. And 5, make sure you're consistently taking advantage of discounts. Pay your bills on time or early if you can get a discount, because not taking advantage of discounts means you're leaving money on the table. So remember, be clear, committed, and chart your course so you can be consistent. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Tasha to introduce our next panelist.
Wow, that was great, Joyce. I love those 3 C's. We're starting with the 5 C's, and now you have to put in those 3 C's. Being clear, being committed, and charting your course. Many of us, as you said, we don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan. So that is so great. Let's keep it moving. And we have Janisha Richardson. She is the business credit expert extraordinaire. She is the co-founder of Positive Business Credit Solutions. Over 25 years of entrepreneurial experience, and has a passion for working with the underserved populations in the small business arena. Let's welcome Janisha as she helps you start on the right path to building business credit.
All right, thank you, Tasha. Thank you, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. Let's talk about business credit and how to spend other people's money to make your business a success. So what is business credit? Of course, business credit is credit that's built in the business's name, and it has nothing to do with your personal credit. It's credit that is built off of your employee identification number and your Dun& Bradstreet number, which we'll talk about a little later. And also business credit is built on the business's ability to pay the creditors back, not necessarily just the person's credit, but also just the business, how it pays them back. Establishing business credit helps you, it doubles your borrowing ability. So you can have business credit in the business's name, and then you can also have your personal credit to help build your business as well. So it doubles your borrower's ability. And again, it has nothing to do with your personal credit. So if you have a business credit card, that business credit card will not show up on your personal credit report. It's totally separate. So that's very important, because when you're building your business, a lot of times we use our personal credit cards to build our business, and that affects your utilization, which in turn affects your credit score. So that's why it's very important to build your business credit. And it's also perfect for startups. If you just start up your business, if you set it up credibly, then you could start building your business credit. There's no cash flow that's required to start setting up your business credit, which is why it's also good for startups. And there's no collateral as well. So business credit is like a huge game changer for any type of business that's trying to get capital and grow their business. So then you may ask, like, how do I set up a credible business, right? Because that's very important. That's the first step to establishing your business credit. So you have to have an entity. You have to either have an LLC or you have to be incorporated. Now this varies between state to state how you need to set that up. But the first thing is having either an LLC or being incorporated. And then you need to have a business address. This could be a virtual address. A lot of people have used their home addresses, but when you're starting to establish a business credit, the vendors that are extending this credit are going to Google your address. And if it's your home, they may not, extend you a lot of credit. So it's nice just to have a virtual address. Could be like a brick and mortar, $50 a month or something like that. They're easy. You could get it for a low amount, but you don't want to use your home address, especially if your business is going to grow. People will Google your address and then they know where you live. So it's nice just to have a virtual address. Also get a phone number. A lot of people will use our cell phone numbers, right? Our personal cell phone numbers. But when you're establishing your business credit, you need to have a virtual number. So that could be anywhere from a Vonage or eVoice. Very simple to get a virtual number. Don't use a Google number, because they will look at that and they'll knock that out. So don't use a Google number for that. Also, you want to establish a business email address and a website. So when you're starting to, get the credits from these different vendors, you want to have your name at your business name. And then also the vendors they'll look up your website to see if you are a credible business. And it just makes you look more credible, of course, if you have an email address that's in your business name and not a Gmail, Hotmail, or Yahoo account. And of course, when you file your articles of organization or your articles of incorporation with your state, you want to make sure that the type of business you have, if you need a business license. So I'm in Washington, D.C. To be a credible business, we have to pay for a basic business license, even though I don't, being a consultant, I don't technically have to have a license, but to be credible in the District of Columbia, you need to have a basic business license. So that's something you need to check. It varies from state to state. And of course, once you have your virtual number, you want to list your number in 411. It's a free listing website. So when you starting to create your business credit, they'll look into that listing 411 to see if your business is listed in there. And these are things that are all free. This doesn't cost you anything to do that. And again, once you have your once you establish your entity, you have to get your EIN, which is your employer identification number, which is also free through the IRS, and a Dun & Bradstreet number, which is also free. The Dun & Bradstreet number is another way that vendors keep track to see if you are a credible business, and some of the vendors will start reporting to Dun & Bradstreet. And of course, you have to create your bank account, open up your bank account. Your business is not considered in business until you open up that business bank account. So you could file your articles of organization, have your EIN number, but until you open up that business bank account, that's when the vendors consider that you are actually in business. So then you ask me, okay, Janisha, once I've done all this, what do I do now? So now you need to start getting those net 30 vendor accounts. And when I say net 30, net 10, 15, that means you go to a vendor online, you order the products, you sign up for an account, you receive the products, and then the vendor gives you 10, 15, 30 days to pay that back. And you need to make sure that that vendor is also reporting to 3 of the credit bureau agencies, which is the Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. And what I found out is a lot of these vendors don't report. So you could spin your wheels trying to figure out if these vendors are reporting or do a lot of research. Some of them don't, or you could just ask them if they do. And that's, our service helps you decide which vendors will actually report. So once you go to the vendor, you buy your products, you get approved, you need to start getting those products like every month for about 3 months until they actually report to the credit bureau agency. And you want to make sure that you're paying your bills on time. So with business credit, on time is actually late. So you actually want to pay it ahead of time, because the faster you pay it, that's when they're reporting to the business credit agencies. And they'll say that this business is paying their bills ahead of time, and your credit score, your business credit score will continue to go up. So now just a few action items on what you can do to make sure that your business is credible. So you want to make sure that once you file your articles of organization, that your business address is the same when you filed your EIN number. It's very important. Also, when you file your tax return, you want to make sure all those business addresses are the same. Apply for your Dun & Bradstreet number. It's very free. You could do that right away. And secure your domain name and your email address. So thank you. My name is Janisha Richardson. Thank you, Tasha.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Janisha. That was great. We all need to know how to use other people's money, establishing business credit. That was awesome for us. All right. So remember that you need to look for your EIN number, well, to apply for your EIN number and your DUNS number. Make sure you have that bank account. Make sure you are a real business so that you have created an entity. And then you're on the road to starting your business. Well, next up, we have Rashida Roberts. She is a personal finance coach. She has crushed over $15,000 in debt in only 12 months. She is the founder of Target Financial and host of the Cash Flow Convo, as well as the author of Find Your Spark, 7 Steps to Ditch Stress and Ignite Your Financial Lifestyle. Take it away, Rashida.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. And it is great to see you all here. Look, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. What do they say? Cash flow is king. Okay. I know we say credit is king, but cash flow is king. And just like Janisha just said, you need that credit to help you have that cash flow sometimes in business. So what is cash flow? Cash flow is monitoring what is coming in and out of your pockets. Now, I'm personal financial coach, so I usually deal in the personal finances. Today, I'm dabbling in both, but both of these apply because in your personal economy, you need to make sure that your cash flow is right. And in your business, we have to make sure our business's cash flow is right as well, because what happens when you don't have cash flow in your business? Your business usually goes under, right? And so same thing with us for our personal economies. We go into panic mode and, we can easily find ourselves sitting on the side of the street or living out of our cars. So I just want to ask you guys really quick, how many people saw maybe one of their favorite restaurants or their favorite business go out of business during the pandemic time? Like, just think about the first month or first 2 months. How many, just put a 1 or say me in the chat. How many people saw a business? It could have been a long time business, 30 years in business, 40 years in business, go out of business in the first few months of the pandemic. Okay, I see a lot of 1s. Yes, and I saw a lot of small business. I'm telling y'all, businesses since I was a child went out of business in the first couple of months during the pandemic. And we have to think about, why is that? You've been in business for so long. And the only thing that I can really think is it's more than likely tied to their cash flow. Because when you don't have enough funds, when you're not monitoring how much money is coming in and coming out, and you can't make those projections of where you are in your business financially, that leaves you wide open. You're a huge risk factor. Same thing with people who don't monitor their money. They don't know what's going in and out. So therefore, when an emergency happens, it just crushes us. And so this is why cash flow is so important, and making sure that we have those statements in our business. But, you know, I'm all about personal. You need to have it in your personal life too, because if you don't handle stuff in your personal life, especially for a small businesses, what's going to happen to us in our business life, right? Tasha's going to get to some other stuff later, but, you know, sometimes we are our most important person, and handling business and handling personal, you know, we need to make sure we're on top of all of that. So why do we need to make sure that cash flow, that we look at cash flow and have those statements? Okay, we need to make sure we get our accountants, get our bookkeepers. If you don't have one, you can always get one. There are, you know, well, I'll let Joyce, you know, give those. So if you got a question about accountants and bookkeepers, and Janisha as well, because those are your gurus who are going to help you with those cash flow statements, so you can see what's going in and what's going out, because there are actually different type of statements that you can look at. All right. But the reason why we need to know our cash flow and, you know, what our spending looks like is because, one, we need to know what we're spending, okay? Because that can immediately improve your understanding of the activities that you're spending money on, whether it's personal or business. If you don't know what's, you know, going in and out, you know, that's a problem, because you're not knowledgeable about your own financial situation. And if you're anybody who actually runs a business, or your personal, look, we all run businesses, to me, okay? Your personal economy is your main, you know, your primary business, right? If you don't handle up on that, nothing else is getting done. So we have to know about our finances so that we can grow our businesses. We need to know about our own personal finances so that we can grow personally, so we can get to our FIRE number, or, you know, whenever we decide that we may want to retire or pass on our businesses. So we have to know that. So it's going to allow us to know what we're spending, and we need that. 2, it's going to help us with our short-term and long-term goals. If you don't know what you're spending, how can you set a goal? How can you sit down with a professional and talk to them about, you know, what equipment that you might need to get in the future? Okay, when you need to replace something, or when you need maintenance, you need those cash flow statements so that you know you can get certain things in the short term, or when a piece of equipment might need your repair, right? So, or when we need to get inventory, and if we're never looking at that, we can't really plan and have those short-term and those long-term goals. So we want to make sure that we understand that, so that way we can prioritize certain activities. We can prioritize buying inventory, or, hey, we got too much inventory, we need to slack up a little bit and not buy that much. So this is why we need to know, especially like in my personal finances, I know I can sit down with somebody and say, oh no, I can't get with you with that until 6 months, because I know what my plans look like. Now, personally, you're going to have your budget, because that's going to help you look at what do you cut, what's coming in, what's going out. On the business side, we have our cash flow statements. All right. 3 is your statements are going to allow you to compare your months. Okay, so when you're comparing, sometimes, you know, we have those short-term, long-term goals. We're able to project where we'll be, but then you can compare like, oh, what actually did happen. So sometimes it's good to see that, you know, hey, we may have had a goal, but if we don't have our statements and we can't see where we're spending money, we can't really, we can't go back and compare. We can't go back and see what actually happened in our business. Or we have our bank statements personally, right? So if you don't have that bank statement, right, you ain't legitimate. So we need to have our bank statements. We can go back and look to see like, ooh, I'm spending too much money eating out or in business. Oh, I'm spending a lot of money on employees, but the productivity is not there, right? Or, you know, different things. And then 4, you can utilize the data, right? It gives you the ability to increase your cash flow. If you're not doing activities right, if you have certain activities that aren't going right, you need to be able to see that. So you need using the data can help you increase your cash flow. And then the last one is what I started with at first, is emergency. And as because I'm an educator, emergencia. Okay, you need to plan for emergencies, because it's not when it's not if an emergency will happen, right? It's when. And we want to recession proof our businesses. We want to recession proof our personal life. We want to you know, plan for those emergencies as well. So that way we can outlast everything. So we definitely need to get our cash flow in order. We need to know what we're spending, what's going in and what's going out. And my name is Rashida Roberts. I thank you guys for listening. See you later. Thank you.
Wow, that was a lot, Rashida. Thank you. You know, we are here talking about the 5 C's of business success, but you know what? Your business finances will mirror your personal finances if you don't get them under control. So cash flow is king. And yes, we must have the courage to look at our statements, both personally and professionally. It is important. All right, so up next is me, and my C is coverage. And I am Tasha Singleton, the founder of TJS Financial Solutions and the host of the podcast, The Secrets of Earning Money Show. So many of us put our insurance in place last. So let's just think about it. You need to get protection and coverage as soon as possible, because you know what? We have 4 areas of risk when we are a business owner, and every business has it. And the first area is going to be liability. And you got to think about it. What happens in your business if somebody comes to your business? Let's say you're the owner of a hotel and somebody slips and falls in your lobby. Are you liable for their injuries? Yes, you are. So you got to make sure you have that liability coverage. What about your income loss? What if a fire happens to your business and in the building and you can no longer have your business there? What happens? That means that you've lost income because you can no longer have your business there. You got to find a new location temporary, right? And what about your property? As a business, if you own the building, that is your property. But even if you don't own the building, what about everything that's inside it? Your computers, your printers, your video equipment, like we're on Zoom right now. What happens to all of that should a fire happen and take everything out? Or somebody comes in and they break in and they burglarize it, whether it's a home business or it's a business in an office, it can happen. So you have to worry about your property. What if you're a contractor and you carry your tools from place to place? You may just need business property insurance coverage or your equipment coverage, right? And then, of course, with all loss, we have people, because when you're in business, guess what? You're a person, and people who work for you are what? People. And the people who buy from you are what? People. So there's always that people loss, that risk there. So let's talk about what you need to make sure is going on with your insurance. I have an acronym and it's called LAST. And this will tell you everything that will basically be covered in your policy. This is what you're looking for when you're talking to an insurance person. You want to make sure that anything you lease, if you lease your equipment, let's say you lease your computer, you lease your printer, maybe you lease video equipment, or you even lease your office space. Guess what? That is something that's going to be covered underneath your liability. And of course, that covers part of your people risk there. Then you have the A. The A is for agreements. You know, those contracts that we have as business owners, because we shouldn't be doing business without it. It's unfortunate. However, today, sometimes an oral agreement doesn't really hold up in court. So you want to make sure you always get it on paper. And of course, you have the S is where the slip and falls are. You know, you're looking at that. If somebody comes and slips and falls, you're still liable. We call that, you know, your business liability there. And you also have to worry about the tort law, which is the T. This is where even if you are not wrong, your client can sue you on negligence because they think you made a mistake. And you have to prove that you didn't. So this is where that comes in at. You want to make sure that you are covered. Your leasing agreement, your agreements, anything that you lease, your agreements, your slip and falls, and your tort law. You want to make sure all of that is covered when you're sitting down and you're talking to your insurance professional. And we want to make sure we look at our income as business owners. Many of us insure our house, we insure our cars, we insure our business, but we don't insure our income. So this is where disability insurance is going to come in at, and workers' compensation is going to come in at. Because if you get hurt and you're unable, or you get sick and you're unable to work, you still need income, right? And your business bills still need to be paid. So with disability insurance, if you get an individual disability policy, that takes care of your personal income. If you get what's known as a business overhead insurance policy, that takes care of your business expenses. So anything that you were to be able to write off on your taxes as a business owner would be tax deductible, will be paid by that policy. And that's called a disability insurance policy for business owners, but it's called specifically business overhead insurance. And workers' compensation, well, depending upon what state you're in, you may need workers' compensation because it is mandatory. Once you have employees, depending upon what state you're in, if you're in the state of Virginia with me, then you get to 3 employees, guess what? You have to have a workers' compensation policy. If you're in the state of Maryland, if you have even 1 employee, you must have a workers' compensation policy. Now, what if you don't have your own personal disability policy, individual policy? Then you really want to carry yourself on your business's workers' compensation policy as a business owner. Don't waive your right, because let's say you're a roofer and you are working on the roof and you have 2 helpers. You're actively still working in your business. You fall off the roof, you break something, you can't go to work. How does your business continue? You got to hire somebody that's a roofer to take your place. Well, you got to pay them. Well, business overhead insurance will take care of that. But now, since you're paying someone, you get less income coming into your household. So how do you maintain your bills? This is where, if you carried yourself on a workers' compensation policy, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Your income would be covered. So as a business owner, if you're not protecting your income on workers' compensation, be sure to get an individual disability insurance policy. And I am Tasha Singleton with TJS Financial Solutions. I'm a certified risk manager. And please be sure to email me if you have any questions or want to connect after this presentation. And we'll turn it over to Rashida Roberts.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening to this presentation. Hopefully, one, you downloaded the workbook and took your notes. We are going to go into our question and answer session in just a second here. But while you guys are asking your questions, we're also going to do some giveaways of our books. We have all of us have a book that we have authored or co-authored, and so it's exciting, and they're all in finances, so, or being victorious, and so it's definitely will help you win. In the workbook as well, we did put some other additional books that can help you. Mindset always matters, right? And also books about business to help you be profitable. I love that word because Joyce always talks about that. So, profit and, thinking that you actually can do this, especially if you're not in business just yet. I missed the poll earlier. I wanted to see, I was trying to get a snag of the percentages. I think we have a good number. Okay, there we go. So a lot of us are people who are looking to start a business, a few that aren't, and a few who are unsure. But let me just tell you, there are two tax systems in this United States, right? And there's taxes for those who don't have a business and those who do. So it can be very lucrative, especially when it comes to taxes. So don't get mad when people say they're not paying federal taxes. You can either be mad or join in on getting those deductions. But great to see all of that. Now, Ms. D is going to handle our questions. Hopefully you've been putting those in the question area for the webinar, and I'll let her take over. But I'm going to put a link in the chat. If you would like to participate in our giveaway, just fill out the book giveaway link, and all you have to do is you'll see the names. You'll see the names there. You can look at you can just put your email address in. Oh, no. Yeah, just put your first and last name under the ones that you would like to enter into. The titles are there. So I'm going to put that link in the chat. And Miss D, take us away.
All right. Well, thanks, Rashida. So there's the question. One question is this. It says, which of the 5 C's do you think is most important for a business that's pretty solid but trying to grow? So you know what? I'm gonna defer to my colleague Janisha and ask you to answer that question for me, please.
Sure. Well, of course, I'm gonna say credit. Like if you're pretty solid, that means you should already have your insurance coverage. You're already communication with your clients. You have cash flow going. So why not go ahead and build your business credit to get even more solid and be able to double your cash flow?
Perfect. Thank you so much. And here's the second question. This one will be for Tasha. It says, if you are a self-employed person or self-employed person, do you have to have workman's insurance in Oregon? Don't live in the state of Oregon, so I don't know. Tasha, I'm sure if you don't know for the state of Oregon, I'm sure you can answer the question in terms of generally speaking. So would you please respond to Christina's question? Thank you.
Okay, yes. Well, in Oregon, if you're self-employed and you don't have any employees, then no, you do not need workers' compensation. However, the people you contract with may require it because they have multiple employees. They may require in order to give you a contract. So in Oregon, if you have 2 or more employees, they require you to have workers' compensation.
Perfect. Thanks. Now, there was one other question. I think it's already answered, but I'm going to put it out here just to make sure. Actually, I'm sorry. It says, okay, we already answered that question about the biggest. Actually, my apologies. It says, what are the biggest mistakes that you can make with business credit? Janisha, this seems to be your night. So go ahead and be the master of the business credit and teach the people.
All right. I love it. I love it. The biggest mistake you could do with business credit is using it for personal reasons. Going on a vacation, buying that Louis bag or that Gucci bag, like that is a no-no. Don't do that. You should use business credit to grow your business for training, marketing, employees. Use it on the business to grow the business, not for personal.
And I'll just add to that you definitely want to follow what Janisha was saying, because here's the thing: you don't want to end up getting audited by the IRS and having to explain. So my communication piece of what had happened was, you do not want to have the what had happened was with the IRS trying to explain that my Louis Vuitton bag was really for business. But these pictures that show me on the beach sipping, something fruity with a beautiful umbrella, I can't quite connect the umbrella, the bag, and the business credit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about y'all. I don't know about Stripes. Me and Stripes, they just don't work. I don't want to have to explain. I just don't want to do it. So we try this. I'm being funny because people get really tight about getting audited. But here's the thing: one of the things I think all of us kind of alluded to it in different ways. If you keep good records for your business expenses and you have it documented, these are my expenses and this is what I spent. You have your receipts. If you happen to be audited by the IRS, you can explain it, clearly, and you won't have to explain what's up with the Louis Vuitton bag. That was just so you won't have to deal with the what had happened was, because we're trying not to have you go down the what had happened was lane, unless you're trying to collect the cash. That part.
There's actually another question that Christina asked about a self-employed person pays his own health insurance. Can he claim this as a business expense? She has a lot of questions. So is there someone she can call after the meeting? So Janisha, as our tax professional, do you want to answer that question? And we have a link to, there's various questions you can ask various ones of us. We also have a Facebook page. You can post some questions there. And I think there's contact information for all of us in the workbook as well. But Janisha, if you can go ahead and answer that question about business expenses and claiming it on your Schedule C.
Sure. So I would say definitely reach out to your tax professional to, make sure, because it really depends. But it depends. I'll just say it depends, but it depends on where you are with the business. You're self-employed, if you're a Schedule C, if you're LLC, like it just really depends. So I would say reach out to either myself or Joyce, or if you have a tax professional that you use, also ask them about those questions. But certain healthcare expenses can be deducted on your tax return.
All right, well, that's great. Thank you so much, Janisha, for that. And now I believe we're going to do the actually pick for the giveaway. Rashida, are you ready for that?
Hopefully you have put your name in for the wheel. And if not, you can always contact us to get a book. That they are available. We can sell them to you, but we are giving some for free tonight because we want you to have a little bit of something that we just want to give back. We all appreciate you all being here and just figured let's give something to you all for your time, because we know time is valuable and you can't get it back. So thank you for giving us your time tonight. So Rashida, take it away. And while she's wrapping it up, I so thank you all for the comments. We thank you all for the comments in the chats. Kate, DeShields, Lori, everyone, thank you for the questions and thank you for their comments.
All right, cool beans. Thank you all for being here. So our first one is for collect the cash. What is it? The sale is not complete until what?
Bank. The money
The
is
sale
in the bank.
is collect the cash. The sale is not complete until the money is in the bank, but you must collect it first.
All right. You got to have those hard conversations. You got to have the hard conversations, communication. All right, here we go. And our winner is Miss Christy Gifford. All right, look, I got to write those down. Somebody write those down for me. So first book, I'm writing it down. All right. I am going to stop sharing real quick.
Congratulations, Christy. I'm looking forward to signing the book and sending you a copy for sure. And I'll ask you to do me a favor and take a picture and post on social media that you actually have it. So congratulations.
All right, I see some more names coming in. So got those, they updated. All right, so let me go to copy and paste. Okay, we're resuming share. Can you guys see my screen now? All right, I entered in the additional names. You can only win once. You can only win once. So let me take it out. There we go. All right, here we go. The next book, our next book is for Miss Tasha Singleton. This is The Secrets of Earning Money Without a Job by Tashia Singleton. All right. So you will learn a lot of information. Whew, I love it. Okay, here we go. Spinning. And our winner is, I don't not want to butcher anybody's name. How do we say that? Shaniva. I'm thinking it's Shaniva, Miss Shaniva Smith. Thank you.
You got it right, Shaniva.
All right, awesome. I knew those language art skills would come in one day. All right, our next book is going to be Profit Freedom. how to avoid the mistakes that cause 60%, y'all, of business owners to have no money and no time, by Joyce Chesley Hayward. Look, if that title don't rock you, I don't know what will. And if you ain't making no money in business, then you need to get the book, okay? Get the book. All right, so I am going to, I got to copy and paste the names. And I thank y'all for filling this out, because I appreciate it, because we have taken our hard-earned time and, to write the words to really transform people's lives. And so just be so gracious to make sure you just reach out and just let us know, how the words affected you. You have questions, because we're all small business owners. And if we all connect and help each other get out, then guess what? Our businesses will keep going. And, so yep. All right. I have, let's see, hold on. Who's already won? Here we go. All right, spinning. And we have Amy Secor. Amy Secor, thank you all. All right, 2 more spins and then
Congratulations,
we will be done.
We'll get your book to you. And as well, please take a picture of yourself with your books. Post it on your social media and tag me. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn.
All right, our next book is I Am a Victor by Cheryl Wood and co-author Miss Janisha Richardson. I actually read Miss Janisha's portion in there. I have the book as well. Actually, I have everybody's book. So, and I have dived in here and there for all of the books. So excellent. You want to be victorious in business. You want to be victorious in life. And Janisha is a great example of that, y'all. She posts her exercise daily schedule online. If you follow her on Instagram, it's very inspirational. So definitely check her out, follow her, because it defines what Joyce talks about: consistency. If you just be consistent, you'll see the little things that actually show up in your life, and that's how you become victorious. All right, here we go. I'm sharing my screen. This is for I Am a Victor. And our winner is, well, it was going to be a Laura either way. Miss Laura Williams. All right. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Okay. And then the last book is my book, y'all. It just came out. So I was so excited. All right, let me pause because I don't want to put everybody's email address on blast. Last one. My book is called Find Your Spark: 7 Steps to Ditch Stress and Ignite Your Financial Lifestyle. So it is a personal finance book about, just ditching debt and ditching the stress. And let's see who our winner will be. All right. Just trying to take out those persons who have already won. Okay, I think I got everybody. And sharing my screen, our last one is our last winner. Rachel, or that may be Rochelle Hall. All right. Well, we thank you all for participating. We're going to turn it back over to our moderator with Financial Beginnings Oregon. And we are so glad that they hosted us today, and we appreciate it. And make sure you all reach out to them because it's a wealth of knowledge and information. So we thank you all again. We are Black Women Empowering Finances. You can find us at blackwomenempoweringfinances.com, anywhere on Facebook and Instagram. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Rashida. And thank you all for being here today. That was amazing. We really enjoyed hearing from you. We want to encourage all of our viewers to sign up for additional sessions that we have. And for those of you, again, in Oregon and Southwest Washington, you could win $1,000 for an Oregon College Savings Plan. So we encourage you to do that. Please sign up and please give a warm virtual round of applause to Black Women Empowering Finances. You all were amazing. Thank you so much and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you again for coming, everyone.
Thank you so much for sharing your most valuable asset, your time with us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good
Peace
night.
and blessings.
And a
you
great
so much,
Easter
Financial.
weekend.
Thank you so much, Financial Beginnings Oregon, for inviting
Yes,
and having us. Thank you.
for
Absolutely.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, Carissa. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carissa.
You're very
And the
welcome.
support
still
team in the
recording?
background.
I was trying to make sure. Joanne, are we good on recording?